Welcome back for another Kerbal Space Program adventure. This time on Kerbal Space Program ONE. It's a tough pill to swallow, but KSP-2 is dead in the water. No updates since June. Sounds like the ship has sank. Well, unfortunately, that leaves us in this position where Kerbal Space Program is actually the more complete game. So I'm back on KSP-1, and I've been doing some experimenting with different mods to improve the graphics, add in some different effects and visuals, but also to add some features that I imagine would be cool in my Kerbal sequel, including the mechanical Jebediah autopilot, which is probably the most divisive inclusion. But once you've landed on the moon or once you've gone somewhere, it's really nice to be able to automate trade routes. Well, this peculiar little aircraft is a helicopter I made. It's just called Helicopter Prototype. And I've had a tough time wrapping my mind around the torque and RPM that you have to feed into each one of these little yellow control boxes. The angling of the blades makes the most sense to me, where one of those control boxes just controls how tilted all those blades on the rotors are, which lets you push air up or push air down. Like, that makes sense. I guess I just don't understand motors very well. It's a little strange that the propellers and rotors don't make any sound. Like, it's almost eerie or seems like it's not working. The main function of this helicopter is to test helicopters, but it's also intended for skydiving. This is a skydiving helicopter, which turns out to not be a very good idea. That's probably why you don't see skydiving from helicopters. But part of it might be the design of this upside down cargo bay, because Kerbals tend to get stuck, and I'm not sure why, but it has something to do with air and gravity and cargo bays. And don't forget to deploy your parachute. It's a good thing these Kerbals have me. It's pretty silly they don't know how to deploy their own parachutes. Don't worry, bud, I got ya. Another parachute. Alright, whoa, hey, don't forget your parachute. Alright. It's pretty cool that they have parachutes. That's a nice touch. That's just fun. There's just endless fun in this game. I've been playing KSP-1 for 10 years now. That's crazy. Maybe it's a little more than 10 years even. Ridiculous. Definitely got my money's worth out of this game. One of the challenges I've had with the helicopter is you adjust the tilt of the blades or the angle of the blades, but I find I need it to be more precise than it is, because I often want to get between like 0.1%. I could think of no better place to come but the giant Squad logo. So thank you, Squad, for the Kerbal game. It's funny that you were in the advertising business and somehow more efficient than a gaming development juggernaut. I salute you for your ingenuity. Alright, back to the helicopter, Valentina. Well, I found a design flaw with my helicopter. She actually couldn't climb the ladder to get back into the cockpit, so she's just going to ride in the cargo bay, and we are out of here. Let's go see if we can rescue one of the Kerbals on the open ocean. I'm really happy with this helicopter. It doesn't look like much, I admit. Like, it looks kind of like a piece of crap. But it's got the cargo bay for my really sketchy skydiving operation. Flies pretty decently. It's easy to control. It's well balanced. It's just a good test vehicle, but it does leave some room to be desired. And hey, what do you know? It can land and take off from the water too. Definitely didn't find that out by accident. Yeah, again, I'm just at this problem where I really want to be within like 0.1% more on the blade angle to get just at the right height. What I'm trying to do is I keep trying to switch to the Kerbal so I can just board the seat. But then the Kerbal's also glitched out. I think she's like stuck in skydiving mode and can't swim right now. Oh, and I tipped over the helicopter. Great! This is going great. At this point I need to take a break, and you might have noticed at the beginning there was error messages about missing mods. So I removed a texture enhancement mod I had, and you can definitely see in this next round, but I decided to give it another go to rescue somebody out of the ocean, because that would be badass. So I don't know if I've discovered a glitch, or if I'm just super lucky, or if it's something about the concussions that they suffer when they're trying to jump out of the helicopter. This guy's stuck in skydiving mode. He thinks he's flying a parachute. You're not on a parachute. You're in the ocean. Swim. This is hard to watch. He's gonna drown and he looks so happy about it. So I decided to give it one more go. Why not? It would be really awesome to grab somebody out of the ocean. Maybe I need a ladder. And I should probably also test this on dry land, because maybe the glitch is about parachuting into the water. Although that seems kind of silly. I tried and tried again, and my Kerbal just can't seem to swim, and I don't ever get the board command seat option. So, alright, time to switch gears and do something else. But it was fun to try. I don't think it's possible. I think the game is preventing me. Pivot. Mun landing time. We're off to the Mun. And this is my new Mun rocket. I just call it Big Mun Face. And it comes loaded with a big rover, and in theory it should be able to make its own propellant, but the last few tests haven't worked very well, so let's see how it goes this time. One of the mods I'm testing out is HUD Replacer, and I'm using a dark theme. I've also positioned the nav ball as far to the left as possible, with just the stock options in the game. Additionally, I have Kerbal Engineer installed, and I have a few of the flight details like the apoapsis and delta V remaining, stuff like that, and I've just positioned it right above the nav ball. Because that is one of the things I really enjoyed from Kerbal 2, was that all the navigation stuff was all neatly clustered in one spot. And it was really fun, and I also really enjoyed it for horizontal videos. It was just very convenient to crop to that corner and get kind of a unique, almost Nintendo DS Kerbal kind of look. Well, we get this thing into orbit, and then we're going to shoot it off to the moon, and hopefully we'll be able to put a little rover down there and get us some gas. I'm also using a mod that replaces the skybox. That's why it's a little more colorful in the stars. It's a little more cartoony. I really like it. You may have just seen me using the mechanical Jeb tool to plot a landing spot. I find it's a good way especially to test a rover design if you're not confident in it, because if the computer can't land it, then sometimes it's more challenging for a human to land it. And I'm also using a mod called Waterfall Effects that makes the engine exhaust look cooler in the vacuum of space, especially because it expands outside the engine nozzle. Here we come in for a landing. This is kind of a weird shaped landing ship, and of course I'm going to come down on a slant here. I have fairly useless landing legs, but they're mainly just to keep it from toppling over, and definitely the thrusters come in handy here. Yeah, I've definitely rolled a lot of these. And I recently added a big docking port to the bottom, which makes it even less stable. I'm trying to develop something where the cargo is near the ground, and the idea is to use it kind of like a moon elevator and just bring stuff up and down from orbit. Well, first test is I have to see if the fuel refinery can work. And by chance I've landed somewhere where there's a lot more ore, so that makes this test go a lot more smoothly. I've added a ton of radiators, but it doesn't seem to be enough, and I'm barely refining fuel. When I disconnected the rover to test that, I forgot to put a pilot in it, and got a rude awakening that without a pilot and without a computer on board, I can't control it or do the brakes or anything, so it was emergency time, and time for somebody to run out there and save it. Bill to the rescue! Stop that rover! And he did, and everything was fine. And then we moved on to our next phase of testing, which was again to give the fuel refinery another run, and same thing, it overheated and just quit producing fuel after only a few drops. So that's unfortunate. That's going to need a little more R&D. But here, let me give you a tour of my little moon base elevator. We've got ample living space up here in the giant capsule. This is another mod I'm trying. I forget what it's called. I think it's called Service Habs or something. If you'd be interested in a video just on some mods to knock KSP up to the next level, let me know in the comments. I was thinking about doing a video on just visual enhancements and then a video separately on like recommended parts, because I feel like that's kind of two things. And of course, another two things you could do for me is to like this video and subscribe to my Kerbal channel. I really appreciate it, and thanks so much for watching, especially this far into the end. I love Kerbal, and I've got a lot of ideas for interesting videos to do and places to go. adventures to have. So stay tuned. Avast me hearties into the stars.